So we're into our final week essentially of training for the Ultra Challenge London to Brighton Walk. Or yeah, London to Brighton Walk. I keep nearly saying it backwards. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'll end up in Brighton to walk the opposite way. 100 kilometers again, which is absolutely unbelievable considering where you start from. I know I constantly bring that up, but I want to make sure that I make this aware to everybody that's listening to this is like, Sarah, you haven't come from a place where you were running marathons or doing these challenges or anything like that. This is essentially the first, well, I will class it as your second biggest challenge. Your first biggest challenge is actually the half marathon that you signed yourself up for. And I might touch on that a little bit. And then now into this bigger one, but you'd actually signed up for this one first, and the half marathon was almost a pacemaker in to help you get to like this point or whatever. But let's jump actually straight into that. So for anybody that here listening, they obviously don't know that you had done a half marathon to kind of try and build yourself up to this 100 kilometer walk. How did that go?
Um, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It was a lot tougher on the day. Was a lot tougher than I imagined it'd be. I was like, I'm just going to go out, I'm just going to walk it. It'll be fine. I know how to walk. You
Yeah.
can't just go for a walk. Um, and obviously, I had been building up to going to do it, so I knew that I could walk a reasonable distance. But yeah, in the actual thing of it was tough. Um, but it was also really good. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot as I was doing it. It did for that. I'm really, really pleased that I did it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, to be honest, I kind of jumped in feet first when I arranged to do London Brighton. I was like, yes, I can do this. um, so it was good to have something before that to aim at that was a shorter distance and a smaller goal to get before I went for the big one kind of thing. Um, and actually, I didn't complete it, but that didn't mean that I didn't achieve anything on that day. Um, it just meant that my achievements were different. I learned lots of things, and that was the main thing from that day. And I turned up and did it, so that was my biggest win from the day. I wasn't sure I was going to, but I did.
Yeah.
So it was a good day.
I think that that's an amazing, you kind of just said it there, and I've never heard it worded in a way kind of you worded it. It was like the achievements that I got weren't the ones that I expected, but I still achieved things. I think that's huge. Like no matter what it is that you're going challenging yourself with, it might not be the thing that you exactly want that you get out of it, or it might not be the result exactly that you get, but you get something that's beneficial regardless. Whether that be learning lessons, whether that be, well, okay, right, well, this is how we make sure that the pacing bus isn't the fucking thing the next thing we sign up to, or we learn, all right, well, maybe I need to fuel properly or water, make sure I'm drinking enough along the way. Like these are things that you'll only learn by actually doing. And no matter how much you read a book or your coach tells you, or whatever it might be, it's not going to help. It's the same as starting the gym, like having a textbook or having me telling you about all the exercises, exactly how to do them all. You're not going to learn unless you actually show up and go. And it's the same for the walking thing. And I'm delighted that you signed up for it that time. To do the half marathon as almost like a checkpoint to get into here. And I'm delighted as well in a way that you failed it and you pushed through it because I think if we'd gone into this challenge and you hadn't done anything before and there was struggle points, you'd be more likely to give up having not faced that hardship before. So hardship is a good thing because it builds you up to be able to overcome more hardship and harder hardship. So again, that was fucking excellent to see. But what did you find the hardest part about the half marathon was?
Um, the because the half marathon was much more uh, a running race that you could walk. You were expected to just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Um, and I am a big believer that doing things in smaller bits makes it more achievable, and so that definitely is more my aim with this walk. Am I sure that I can walk 100 kilometres to get to the end of London Brighton? Well, but I know I can walk 3 kilometers. So if we walk 3 kilometers and I ever sit down, then the next time I start walking, I start again. So if I then walk 3 kilometers and I ever sit down, I don't mind. Eventually, I'll have done that enough times that I've covered 100 kilometers. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with the half marathon, they wanted everybody to just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And yeah, sometimes you just have to stop for breath and think, hang on a minute, what do we do next?
And putting yourself
um,
first. That's a big thing as well, being able to put yourself
yeah,
first. Like, I need to actually sit down here and take a little rest. Most people wouldn't be able to do that. And that's why most people wouldn't sign up for something like this, is because we're like, oh, well, I have to conform to the way that other people want me to do it, and I'm not good enough for that. It's
oh
like,
God, no.
yeah, that's not the way to look at challenges. Challenges is ways to push yourself. So you,
Yeah,
not anybody else.
yeah, definitely. No, to be honest, that is a big thing that I learned is m- my way is the only way that I'm going to be able to do it. I can't make me be somebody else or do things in a way that somebody else wants me to do them. I
Yeah.
can only do them the way that my body will let me. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you showed as well, and like these are really, really good lessons for anybody on like a weight loss journey, or maybe somebody has heard this and been like, that's something that I'd love to do, or I want to challenge myself with things like that. Is again, just because you're signing up for a race or something like that doesn't mean you have to do it in the race's manner that they want you to do it. It's like you're challenging yourself in your way. But I think one brilliant thing that came out of that as well, and one thing as a coach that I was looking for was when you came back, or I can't remember exactly now if you finished when you got back or that, but you still finished at 21K. You completed it. You went out and did an extra walk on top of it or something.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I did another walk after it so that on the day I'd done 21K. I just didn't do it all in one lump.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that that's determination and that's brilliance as well. And that's exactly what you set out to achieve was walking 21 kilometers and you went out and you walked 21 kilometers. Yes, there might have been a gap in a couple of minutes in the middle because they wanted you to finish up whatever, what you still ended up getting it done. And I think that that goes to show as well your determination to take off the things that you've set in your head, which is ultimately what the 100 kilometer thing is. That like, all we have to do is walk. I don't care if the ultra challenge, although the guys at the ultra challenge series are really, really nice. I don't care if that's closed and we're walking for 4 days. I actually couldn't give a fuck. I'm going to walk with you every step the whole way from London to Brighton. I don't care how long that takes. I don't care what happens along the way. I don't care where we go, what direction, what route, whatever. I still know that you will get there taking the 3 kilometer walks, or if we do five and then stop, or one and then stop. And if that comes to walking 5 steps and then stopping, I know you're actually probably quite similar to me and a lot of other people that you will push yourself to reach that goal that you've set out, and that's all that matters. Doesn't matter whether you run it, doesn't matter whether you sprint it, doesn't matter whether you walk it. And then I always say this as well: it's the level of achievement is the level of challenge. So if it wasn't challenging for you and you knew you could run 100 kilometers, geez, at the end of it, you're probably not going to feel really good. But if it's something that you
Yeah,
really and you're stopping all the time and you're going and you're walking and you're challenging yourself and you're facing these hard points and you go and you get there, the achievement's going to be unbelievable. You're going to feel really good in yourself. So I think that that's one. What's one thing you're excited about, I suppose, for the rest? Because I know, and a lot of the things that I've been talking about has been like, well, we have a big challenge ahead of ourselves. Are we going to make it? Whatever. But I think it's important to kind of talk about that as well. So it's not like in the back of the room where nobody speaks about, oh well, what happens if we need to stop? What happens if we go for this? But to bring it onto a more positive light, what is it that you're most looking forward to regards to the challenge?
um, to be honest, just enjoying the time. I think it will be a really enjoyable thing to do. As much as I know at various points it's probably going to be painful and it'll be hard and whatever else. I am just looking forward to enjoying it. It's going to be um, a couple of days of spending some time with you know, getting out and us having a real good time, just doing some walking,
Yeah, I'm going to challenge
making.
myself to not use my phone for a day of it, Sarah. I'm going to do my best. And see how we go. Actually, I got this thing specifically for it. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a little thing that can that can block your phone from all the apps. So I'm gonna go mute for a day, 24 hours while we're walking it, so that we all have to chat. I think us as human beings sometimes with all of this online stuff and Instagram, whatever. that's a part that I'm excited for because how often, and this is for everybody, in life are we chasing things, running after things, trying to get things done with work and everything that we actually get to spend one, a little bit of time with ourselves, two, spend time on ourselves, not just with ourselves, but on ourselves, and that's in the form of challenging ourselves with regards to a walk
Yeah.
and having conversations with people. So having conversations with people, having conversations with you, seeing your perspective on different things, and 100 kilometers of a walk, we've a fucking lot of time to go ahead and do that. So that's something I'm super excited for. And it's kind of one thing that I really liked about these podcasts is getting to sit down and have a little bit more of a chat with you and see where you've come from, things that you've struggled with over the last number of weeks, the things that regards to the challenge now as it's getting closer. But do you feel more stressed with the challenge now that it's getting closer, or do you feel more relieved that it's closer and it's almost here?
Um, yeah, to be honest, I don't know that I am feeling stressed with it anymore. It is kind of at the point now where it's happening next week. We're going to be going. We're going to be doing this. And I I aren't really a worrier, so there's no point in being worried about what's going to happen or stressing over it because it's not going to make anything any better. Um, to be honest, there is absolutely nothing I can do now in this one last week that is going to make this any better, any easier. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just ready to go now. Let's just go do it. I've been out and got my shopping, so I've got blister plasters and
You're further
cream for
than
all
me.
my broken bits.
You're more ahead than me. I don't even have that stuff ready at all. I think the walk is something that maybe the day before or maybe for some people they might feel nervous about. For you, it's obviously this it's actually similar to me. So with any competitions or anything that I challenge myself with, to be honest, I'm kind of getting the same mindset for you as you do. Oh, it's that closer. Like right now, there's not really a huge amount I can do to control it. So let me let go of that. But that's something that has to be learned over a period of time because for a lot of people, things that they can't really control they start panicking about even when it comes to the diet and weight loss or whatever it might be people hopping on the scales and the scales goes up and they're really frustrated but it's like well you can't control that now but what we can control is our next few steps into things that are ahead of us and such for you we can't really control our training now the training is essentially done training was probably done 2 weeks ago when it comes to the race the things we can control is well if I get tired I sit down and then I try and keep on going I try get back up and try move back forward and that's kind of it. And the nerves and anxiousness side of things, I hope they do hit you maybe the night before, or I hope they do hit all of us.
I'm sure they will on the
Yeah,
actual day. When
because
I turn up on that morning, I'm going to be uh yes.
because this is the thing. A lot of people think, "Oh, I wish I wasn't nervous. I wish I didn't get anxious. I wish I didn't feel not confident in myself, whatever it might be." But I actually think that that's a really good part of us as human beings because one, it turns on us almost our adrenaline system where we're like, "Fuck it, right? Well, I'm scared. And we're able to walk further. We're able to work harder. We're able to think more. We're able to perform better. There's scientific studies as well done on people with adrenaline, and they perform 100 times more. It's one of the reasons why caffeine is a performance enhancer. So drinking caffeine can help your performance and things. It's because it speeds up our heart rate, it speeds up our thinking. But so does the natural thing of our adrenaline. So does the natural thing of feeling nervous and anxious. It almost winds it up. I always think of like, do you ever watch like a hunting video or something, and then the deer's ears pop up and they hear someone and they go running. It's like that, but
Yeah.
that's exactly like we are. We're aware, and then we're able to go. And I think that that's something amazing. So the nerves will be used for you. But is there any walk so far that you've experienced that you've gotten maybe a little bit panicky about? Oh, this 100 kilometer walk is coming up, or has there been any moments where you felt nervous?
Um, I mean, to be honest, just in the run up to it, I have been um quite nervous of it. Not the actually turning up to it, but more the will I be able to finish it. Um, but again, I think that it's just kind of working on acceptance of you can only do what you can do. So that's what I'm going to do. Is
Yeah.
yeah,
I think finishing it as well is a thing of like it's finished once you've started the actual race. It's almost finished in a way that was the biggest challenge for you a year ago, being able to
yeah,
get movement in. And to even see you put your name down for something like this is huge. And it's the same for everybody. Like I talked about multiple times where I'd signed up for like 8 or 9 jiu-jitsu competitions, showed up for none of them, and I showed up then for one. And that was a win. I was like, oh, well, regardless what happens now, I'm here. But even putting my name down on a piece of paper to do something like that was scary for me in the moment. I remember even before going into the gym changing room to actually take off my t-shirt to then put on another t-shirt was a scary point. It wasn't even going into the gym. That was the first step of it. So putting a name down was almost a win. Getting to the start line and walking past the start line is a win. There's an achievement in there. That's the finish of a certain race. There's the 100 kilometer race, and then there's the 90 kilometer race, then there's the 80, then there's the 70, then there's the 60, then there's the 10, then there's the 5, then there's the first step. But I think every single journey, regardless, is only as hard as the first step. Like for anything that you do, the hardest thing, as I said, is putting your name down. You've already won in that. And so for you, I think what would be the first step that you would recommend for somebody here that might want to challenge themselves with something but doesn't know? Like, how did you sign up? I know that doesn't make sense because you went online, you filled out a form, but how did you get the courage to do that? Or what was it that made you do the challenge in that, if you get what I'm saying by the question?
Yeah. So I I did actually do some other things before even the half marathon, and so I started with smaller things that I then went. I need to challenge myself with something bigger. So I think the first thing was finding something that I thought looked like it could be a fun thing to do, something that I would enjoy. Because I signed up and I did a 10-mile walk along the River Thames. Um, I really like being in London. I often go for a day in London and have a wander around. So I thought, well, 10 miles around London, I can do that. Again, when I got there, that was harder than I expected. But the reason that I signed up for that was because it was something that looked fun and appealed to me. So if there's something that you can find that appeals to you in any kind of way, then follow that. The Ultra Challenge, when I was looking at this, actually started looking at the one that they do walking around the Isle of Wight, because that's a place I used to go as a child. I thought, oh, that looks interesting. And it was only when I looked further into it that there were other ones available, and all the rest of it. And it ended up that this was the one that I picked. To be honest, I could have picked any of them. By that point, I just decided we were going on a long walk, and so that's what we're doing. um, but yeah, it's just finding something that sparks your interest,
Yeah.
um, and I think then it makes you more likely to actually turn up, more likely to actually complete, more likely to actually want to commit to doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of touched on that in the call with the Mulligan's method yesterday with the crew. Almost because we were going through goal setting, and it's actually you've pretty much described it perfectly here, which is brilliant. Is the aspect of setting goals and achieving goals. When we're looking at our goals, we should always set goals that we believe are unachievable. So let's say the 100 kilometers would have been something that you maybe would have thought was unachievable a year ago. So that would be top of the pyramid. So I call it the pyramid of possibility. Top of the pyramid is this unachievable goal. And if we look towards the bottom of the pyramid, we have our achievable goals, things that we know we can achieve, but also things that we find enjoyable and fun. And then in the middle of the pyramid is these things that we feel like, oh, maybe I can, but oh, maybe I can't, or maybe I can, maybe I can't. So it's kind of in the middle there. So we have things we know we can achieve deep down. We have things that, oh, I'm not too sure if I can, and then things that we feel like are impossible. So the impossible things at the top of the pyramid are things that feed you back, that like feed you back confidence and that real sense of achievement. That's what the impossible. Once you achieve those impossible things, it really gives you a new sense of confidence because that's essentially what it is. Confidence of being able to challenge or tackle a
Yeah,
challenge you could before. The bottom, the achievable part, although might not give you confidence and happiness because you already kind of know that you could achieve it, the thing is it makes you feel good. So it makes you feel good having ticked things off. So it might be drinking a glass of water that you set out, I'm going to drink a glass of water every day this week. You know that you can do that, but when you tick it off, you don't necessarily get more confidence from it, but you feel better with it. You feel good because you've done something. Then the middle of this pyramid part is essentially what we need to do to get to the impossible. So we need to build a step up. But what that is called building evidence. So essentially what you did here, so let's talk about the the this in terms of what you've done. So the bottom, the achievable would have been walking to the shop, right? As simple as that, or walking along the Thames, because that's something that you like, and it was something that you're like, oh, I know I can kind of walk along that because I go for days and there, although it might have been
Yeah.
different time they've set, but there. Then the next step for that for you, the middle part, where I don't know if I can do it, maybe I can, is the half marathon. So that was building the evidence. Then having done that, it gave you some more evidence that you can achieve this thing at the top. So in order to achieve those impossible goals, we need to start with the simple ones we know we can, because that's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you want to keep going. Then the middle goals, which are, oh, I kind of don't know, I don't know. That gives you the belief in yourself that you can achieve hard things or harder things that you believe you can't. And then when we achieve those big things, that's where the confidence and happiness. But it all starts from the base of the pyramid of possibility, which is shit that you believe you can do now. And that's what you're talking about there, where you're talking about choose things that you can enjoy, choose things that you like doing, and choose things that are maybe a little bit challenging. So you're building that evidence to eventually get to that stuff that you don't think you can. Like for a lot of people, with regards to weight loss, that's how I would work with regards to weight loss first. Is like, okay, what can we do from the position that we're in now? Can we drink a glass of water? Can we add fruit and veg to each meal? Simple stuff. Most people know they can do that. It's like, okay, yeah, well, if you can do that for a week, feel good after. Then the next part is, what's the next challenge? Oh, let's get to the gym because I kind of know I can, but I'm not too sure. Right, well, then we get that done. Then the next part is losing 10 kilos, the impossible, the thing they didn't think was possible comes after. But I think that that's something huge from your journey and kind of what you're talking about there of how to build into to making progress or how to challenge yourself with something difficult. But in all of that, just I suppose coming towards the end of the half an hour here, the question that I had for you, and it's the same question I'm going to have for Adam later on as well, is there anything that stood out to you over the last number of weeks of training as a significant point of learning or something that someone said to you that really stuck with you that helped you push through or helped you get through a hard point or maybe might help you get through the 100-kilometer walk? Is there anything that you can think of that you could share here that could maybe help someone else here get through either a hard day, maybe push on when they feel like giving up, or maybe something that helps you with regards to your training?
Um, I love when you do this to me. Um,
But you always manage to land it, so it's okay. If you can't, because again, if you can't, it's fine. But I think we shared a lot anyway, so it won't really make that big of a difference. But it's just not even for other people listening, more so interesting for me because I love picking up these little things because your journey can inspire so many. And even though you might not think about it, like already, I think there's been like 10 comments underneath the YouTube. I've gotten hundreds of messages off the back of any story that I put up or the video that I put up from people. And from your journey, I can share learnings that you've gotten with other people that might be starting. And it's for me as a coach, it helps me help other people by hearing from you what's helped you or maybe a point that stood out. Because again, if it's helped you, likelihood is it'll help hundreds of other people. But if there's not, then we've touched on enough.
there are there are loads of different things that help me at various different points. It depends on the struggle as to which thing it is that I go back to. To be honest, everything is always what we say all the time in Mulligan's of take everything back to basics. When you struggle with anything, just go back to the beginning, start again, and stop and go right. So I need to get out and have a walk. On the walk is it doesn't matter how much I'm doing. I just need to get out and do the thing. Where I when I'm going, oh, I'm struggling. I ain't got time. I can't fit this in. I'm not going to get this done. I aren't going to do enough. Da, 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 da. Just getting out and doing it in the first place. That's enough.
Yeah,
And then anything else you can achieve on top of that is additional. But just actually doing the thing in the first place because that is better than doing the nothing.
yeah, yeah. Best bit of advice
So
you can give anyone. Yeah, really good. Thank you, Sarah. And so we're going to finish up here. And I just want to say, well, I don't really have to say because I'm going to be there with you. I was going to say best of luck next weekend with the walk. But I suppose from everybody here, if anybody is listening to the podcast or watching this back, drop Sarah a message of encouragement going into don't care about likes, follows, any of that sort of stuff. Drop Sarah a message of encouragement going into next week. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. And sometimes those go a really long way. So yeah, and actually, final shout out. So obviously, in regards to the big challenge that we're doing here, Sarah's organised that she's doing it for the Marmalade Trust, which helps people face an even bigger challenge, which is loneliness, and mental health off the back of that, and it's something that's really, really difficult for people to deal with, and especially deal with alone. Anything in life is hard to deal with alone. Hence why, even for this walk, it's going to be me, it's going to be Sarah, it's going to be Adam, and it's going to be Jack, all supporting each other along the way. And in tough times and where shit's getting hard, it gets easier when you have people around you. And I think like what an amazing charity. I hadn't heard of it before Sarah brought it up to me. So if you want to support Sarah on that, and anything is appreciated, even if it's €1 or 50 cents, whatever, it
Anything.
doesn't matter. Anything goes a long way. That can be the difference between someone getting the help that they need or not. Drop Sarah a message or click onto her page or drop me a message and I'll send you across the link to send something across her way. But again, between that, or if you can't afford that, a message of encouragement or even a share of any of the posts is massively appreciated. But yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for spending the last, is it 3 podcasts, 4 podcasts, sitting down for a half an hour with me talking about your journey and me annoying the shit out of you with hard questions.